Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the success story session. So today we have with us Ms. Sudipa who has cleared the RBI Grade B examination and she was a working aspirant. So her journey is all about resilience, never giving up and learning from her mistakes. So in this session she will share her experience with all of you and she will share her strategy and learnings with you so that you can refine your preparation strategy. So welcome to the session Sudipa.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.
Okay. And do tell the students a little about your educational background.
Okay. So I've completed my schooling from my hometown of Hinmotor, and thereafter I've completed my graduation in Electronics and Communication Engineering from BP Poddar Institute in Kolkata.
Okay. And after that, where did you start working and how you got into the UCO bank and such?
Okay, so I got placement during my campus placements at Cognizant, and I worked there for around 8 to 9 months. And thereafter, I got to know about this IBPS exam since I was not finding the interest in coding. So I thought I'm not seeing my future at Cognizant. So I thought maybe I'll try at this IBPS exams because I already had some knowledge of QRE during my placement examinations. So I applied and I thankfully got into UCO Bank. This was in the clerical cadre in 2017. And thereafter, I worked in UCO Bank as well for around again 8 months. And in between, I got selected in Oriental Insurance as AO, and I joined Oriental Insurance in 2018.
Okay. And how did you come to know about RBI Grade B examination and how did you start preparing for the RBI Grade B?
Yes, so actually, I first appeared in RBI assistant examination in 2017, and I was also selected in that. But the results were delayed by around 1.5 2 years. So in between, I joined Oriental, and then I did not join the RBI assistant. And then I decided that I should rather join as an officer. So I started preparing for RBI Grade B in 2019 and appeared for it in 2019, but unfortunately I did not clear it then.
Okay. And what different strategy did you adopt in the 2024 RBI Grade B examination that you were able to clear this time as compared to 2019?
I think it was mostly related to the current affairs. I was taking it a bit lightly then, so I couldn't clear my prelims also. But this time I knew that current affairs is a big part of the syllabus, and I had to give more focus to current affairs compared to the static part. And also, I think with age, I have gained some wisdom and maturity to understand topics better now compared to then.
Okay. And in 2019, you gave the RBI Grade B examination and directly you gave in RBI like in 2024. So why so much of the gap, if I may ask?
Yes, so I actually wanted to appear in the 2020 exam, but due to COVID, the exam was cancelled. And thereafter, in 2021, the pattern changed, and I thought I'm not ready to appear for that. And then actually, my focus shifted to state civil services, West Bengal state civil services, and I prepared for that for 2 years, 21 and 22. And but I wrote two mains, but didn't get interview call then. So in 2023, I again revalued my options and reassessed them and thought that maybe I would again try for RBI Grade B in 24 and started preparing again.
So we can say you have a long preparation journey of nearly 6 to 7 years from 2017 till 2024. So did you ever had a low phase where you felt like that why I am putting so much efforts? I already have a very good paying job, a good post you have in the Oriental Insurance. So ever you had a low phase where you thought of leaving this preparation journey?
No, actually, I was not maybe not finding the satisfaction in my work here. So I thought I would try for better options, better opportunities, and so I tried for the civil services, state civil services, and thereafter RBI.
Okay. And who was the backbone of yours in the preparation journey, as well as how did you keep yourself motivated in this preparation journey? Because usually after a few months we feel demotivated, but you prepared for 6 to 7 years. So how did you keep yourself motivated?
Firstly, I my family was always there for me, motivated me throughout, and then my friends. And for this RBI, especially, I have this friend at RBI. He's working there, and he has helped me and guided me a lot throughout the entire process, and has really motivated me along as well. So I also never really focused on the negative things, even if I was not clearing the state civils, or I couldn't clear RBI in 2019, but I did not really felt demotivated. I always thought maybe I'll get it, but if I work harder. So I always had that in mind.
Okay. And do you believe in external motivation, or did you like watch the videos for the external motivation ever?
No, no, I didn't.
Okay. So you think that the motivation comes from inside only, and you have to like focus on your dream to achieve what you want, right?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So now you were a working aspirant. You were working in Oriental since 2017, 2018, we can say, and you prepared after that for RBI Grade B. So how were you balancing your preparation as well as your working life?
Okay, so 20 for RBI Grade B, I started preparing from 2024 January,
Hmm.
and thereafter, I first thing I did was just go through the syllabus and see what I know and what I didn't know. And I
Hmm.
saw that a lot of the topics in finance and economics were already overlapping with my civils preparation that I did before. So it was easier for me to understand those topics. And then, so the only part left was the management static and the current affairs part. So I made a timetable whereby I used to allot at least 3 to 4 hours every day, and on the weekends anywhere between 12 to 15 hours. So that's how I completed everything.
Okay. Okay. So now let's just start with the strategy part. That first, let's start with the phase one. So starting with GA, because that is the pain point for most of the students. And you also said in 2019 you were not able to clear because you didn't focus on current affairs. So we get a lot of calls that it is very
Yes.
hard to learn so many of the facts in like schemes, reports, and so. So first of all, in the GA portion in the phase one, how were you able to remember the facts for the exam? Or how did you tackle the facts?
Yes. So firstly, I started preparing, keeping in mind mains. Prelims was there, but mains was my focus. So therefore, I decided that I will complete month-wise everything related to current affairs, be it RBI news, be it any report, be it any
Mhm.
survey, or anything like that. So for that, I used this Affairs Cloud monthly compilations as well as EduTap's current step, RBI news step, report step, everything. And I used to make a point to at least revise everything once a month in the next month, whatever I did in the previous month.
Okay. So you like many of the students they ask that can we like only focus on a few facts like only on a few documents. So like schemes and reports documents and can we leave the other documents or such? What is your strategy? Like did you focus on all the parts schemes, reports, ESI current affairs, GA, finance current affairs and so and so? Did you focus on all the areas of GA and current affairs?
Yes, yes, definitely. I read and went through everything there was in those PDFs, apart from certain news which I thought was not relevant to the syllabus. But mostly, yes, I tried to cover all of it.
Okay. And how many times of revision do you think is required?
I think it depends from person to person. I myself used to do one revision a month, and maybe someone needs two, or maybe no needs they will need once in 2 months. It depends, I think, from person to person.
Okay. And how many months of the current affairs and how many months of the GA? GA, particularly sports, awards, and such. And current
Yes.
affairs means schemes, reports. So, how many months of schemes, reports, RBI notifications, and such? And how many months of GA do you think should be done for phase
Um,
one?
I did I did around 8 months from January till August. My prelims was in September, so January to August, eight
Okay.
months.
And even the sports, awards, this kind of news?
No, no, no. I skipped those.
Okay. Okay. And that is risky, is it not, for the phase one?
Uh, if you have time, you can read it. But I actually did not have time, so I only focused on the important things which I felt might come in the exam.
Okay. So you focused on the schemes, reports, RBI News tab, and you focused on the uh, Finance current affairs, ESI current affairs that come in
Yes.
phase one as well as they come in phase two also. So you focused on these areas. Okay. But for the students that want to be on the safer side, they can also do 2-3 months of GA, we can say, sports awards and
Yeah.
such. Okay, nice. So this was your overall strategy for GA, that you focused on the documents, you read them end to end, and you focused on the coverage of 8 months for the important
Yes.
areas. Okay. Now coming to mock test, did you give any mock test, or do you like give any marathons for the GA section before the exam?
Yes, I used to follow all these marathon sessions of EduTap on YouTube, and I used to practice those MCQs. And for mocks, I did mocks for around 1.5 months before the prelims, and focusing especially on the quant sectionals and quant section. And I did the mocks from practice mock.
Okay. Now we have understood about the GA portion and your strategy for the GA phase one. Now coming to QRE, were you very strong in QRE because you have given the RBI assistant and you have given the banking exams? So what was your strategy for QRE and how strong you were?
Okay, so my English was always very strong. I never did much grammatical mistakes in that, and reasoning was above average. But what I saw now compared to 2019 was my speed has slowed down in quant. So I thought I'll have to do at least one sectional every day, at least for 1.5 to 2 months before the prelims. So I my focus was mostly on quant, and I used to do one sectional every day at least.
Okay. And like RBI assistant and the banking quant reasoning, is it same as the RBI grade B quant reasoning?
Yes, I think so. Maybe SBI PO and all is on a higher, tougher side, but overall maybe 19-20 difference.
Okay, okay. So now let's come to the phase two part. So in the phase two, what was your preparation strategy for the paper one, the English descriptive paper for phase two?
Okay, so for this phase two, I actually Googled some topics for essay and used to at least write one, two, or three essays every month for the last 2 to 3 months before my prelims. So that's how I practiced for the
Okay,
essay.
okay. And usually the students say that we should start from the RC, then we should go to the essay and such. So what was your line of like attempting the questions and the English descriptive?
Okay, so I had this decided beforehand that if I find a easy essay topic, I will start with the essay. And luckily, there was an essay on mental health, and I had actually went through a good essay before that, practiced one. So I started with the essay first, and that took around 30 minutes for me. And thereafter, I went to the RC, and at the last, the last section.
Okay. So now let's come to the ESI and the FM section. So let's start with the finance and management first. So how did you prepare for the finance and management, static and current affairs in finance?
Okay, so the finance static part, I had prior knowledge, so didn't invest much time in that. But for the management part, I used EduTap's management content. The chapters are very clearly and concisely made, so I went through that. And for the MCQs, I used to do the marathon sessions on YouTube. And for the current affairs part, again, those current tab, news tab, affairs cloud, all those help.
Okay. So you utilized the like for the management, you utilized the summary sheet and the documents provided by EduTap. And for current affairs, you used the EduTap's material as well as Affair Cloud, right? These were the sources broadly.
Yes.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
like, when did you start preparing for the static part, like the management? Did you start it in January 2024 or did you start it near to the examination?
No, I think I did it in February or March, somewhere around then.
Okay. And this time the questions were very of like very different kind in management, paragraph based question, RC based question. So were you afraid when you were attempting the questions or you were confident that okay, I can do this?
The questions I felt was more generalistic, not in any syllabus or anything. So I thought that I must read the paragraph first and see if I can find the answers in the paragraph. And fortunately, I did. Some of them, in fact, most of the answers were in those paragraphs in itself. So I think reading the paragraph first and not panicking helped.
Yes, correct. So, in the examination, if the questions are coming, you should not be panicking because it is new for all the students, right? So, just
Yes.
keep calm and then you will be able to answer better. Okay. And this time, there were some questions like growth investing, value investing, and there were static questions more in finance, which was not expected this time. So, how did you handle the finance static questions?
Uh, I actually, it was new to me as well. I did not know the exact answers to two, three descriptives, but I had some idea about those answers. So I took a calculated guess and wrote about the investing question. And I think maybe once the marks come out, I'll know how I did in that.
Okay. And now coming to the ESI part. So, how did you prepare for ESI? Because this is a pain point for all the students. So, if you can tell a detailed strategy for the ESI section, for the static and for the current affairs, if you can.
Yes. So for the static part, again, economics topics I had read before, so I did not need much time to invest in that. But for the current affairs, schemes were a big part of it. So I used to go through the Vision IAS PDFs that are available on Google, and I used to complete important ministries, 10, 12 important ministries. And if I had time, I used to read additional ministries. And thereafter, schemes tab, which schemes were in news recently and all that. I used to note down and read those schemes, and thereafter other ESI current affairs from the current tab.
Okay. So, when Sudeepa is saying schemes tab and current tab, they are the documents provided by EduTap. So, schemes tab is a schemes document. Current tab is a document for your ESI current affairs, finance current affairs, and such. Okay. So, okay. So, this was your strategy. And again, like for you, how many times of revision was there that you did?
Whatever I read in this month, I used to make a point to at least revise that in the next month once at least.
Okay. And did you make any notes also?
No, I did not have enough time, but the descriptive answers which I wrote, I used to practice them on my laptop, so I had those saved.
Okay. And when we come to the ESI descriptive, so these questions are very like they are from different areas. So did you prepare some questions beforehand before going to the examination, or did you prepare some fodder material for the ESI section?
Yes, I did. There are actually some further questions available in the EduTap course in itself. So I used to practice those, and thereafter I was also in some Telegram groups where they used to provide these free questions to practice at home. So I used to do that as well, and got it peer reviewed by my friends.
Okay. Okay. So I think we have nicely covered the phase two section also, that what sources they can follow or what strategy they can follow. Now let's go to the phase three, that is the interview round. But before that, how many mocks did you give for the phase two?
Yes. So for mains, I did, I think, five mocks. Those are available with the EduTap course.
Okay.
Only
And
those.
how important do you think the mock tests are for your phase two or phase one or for any exam?
It helps to boost the confidence, first of all. When I can answer my questions, I know that I have actually learned something. And secondly, it also helps to identify the weak points, which in my case was quant especially. So I think in prelims as well as in mains, mocks are actually helpful.
Okay. So now let's move to the phase three, that is your interview. So, first of all, let's talk about the mock interviews. How many mock interviews did you give and how important the mock interviews were?
I gave three interviews because I had less time, and those mocks really helped me gain confidence as well as frame my questions in a better way.
Okay. And something that was there in the mock interview that helped you in the final interview, actually?
No, actually, no, none of the questions were asked there, but at least I knew that do not have to panic and have to just keep my calm. And I got that through my mock interviews as well.
Okay. And now let's come to the final interview. How was the panel and what was your experience when you were entering the room?
I was actually very nervous. I couldn't even sleep that night before, and I had around 2, 3 hours of sleep. So I was kind of sleep deprived, and I was third last to go among 12 candidates on my interview day. So I was already feeling very sleepy, but I had to keep calm. So when my number came and they called me, and I was standing outside the door, it was really nerve wracking. But I just thought that okay, this is just a 15, 20, 25 minutes interview and I can relax once it's over. So when I went inside, I had this smile which I kept throughout till the end. And initially the questions were a bit easier, but gradually I think they started asking a bit difficult questions to me. And some of the questions I actually did not have the answer for. And I politely said that I really do not know those answers, and I looked them up after the interview. And overall, I felt towards the end it was a bit stressful, but a very cordial panel. And I'll know my marks after the marks come out. So let's see.
Okay. And can you detail, like, or can you tell some questions that were asked in your interview?
My interview was almost 99% based on my biodata. Whatever I had written there, especially my work experience, since I was working for around 7 years, combining all of everything. So they did ask why I left IT, why I joined bank, and then why again left bank and joined insurance. Now why again RBI? So all those questions are there. And after that, a lot of questions are asked from insurance and what I'm doing and what all is happening in insurance sector. So some of the questions I couldn't answer, and I felt they will deduct marks because I am working for 6 many years and I didn't know those answers. But and then there was one question about UCO Bank scam. What happened? I think in two years back. So at that point of time, I couldn't remember what the scam was, and that sir on the panel said that you should know this, and I said yes, sir, I should, but unfortunately, I couldn't remember this at this point. But I'll definitely look it up after the interview. So I think those were some questions I couldn't answer.
Okay. And were there any questions from finance management or economics, like core concepts?
Finance, no, I don't think there was any. But I think, yes, there was one question from capital market. There was this madam who asked me the difference between current, no, capital markets classification. Yes, that was the question. Can you classify the capital markets? So that was
Okay.
one question.
So we can say that if you are a working aspirant, you have to take care of
Yes.
the job profile that you are doing, or you have to learn about it, so that like the questions can come from those domains specifically. Okay. And now, like before ending the question, like before ending the interview, like you were working for a long period of time, like you were working for 6, 7 years and you were preparing for 6, 7 years. So never the pressure came from your parents that now you should think about marriage, or now you should think about something else rather than like keep on preparing and putting so much pressure on yourself.
And no, thankfully there was no such pressure. पापा said पढ़ लो जितना टाइम तक पढ़ सकते हो, एज होगा, एज बार आ जाएगा तो नहीं कर सकते. So I did that.
Okay. And now, before ending the interview session, any message for the aspirants out there?
Yes. So I just want to say, just never lose hope and faith in yourself. Like I didn't crack it in 19, but 5 years down the line, hopefully I'll be in RBI. So just focus that maybe if it's meant to happen, it will happen. You just have to put your work, the have faith, and keep the inner motivation alive throughout. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Sudipa. Thank you so much for joining the session. It was wonderful talking with you. And congratulations once again.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for coming.